Now let's take a look at today's business headlines. And for help with that, we're going to welcome in global business and markets analyst and Newsmax contributor Seth Denson. Good morning, Seth.
Hey, good morning, Alex. Good to see you.
Good to see you. All right, the markets resumed after the holiday and finished split yesterday, and futures are down this morning ahead of the opening bell. And just in, mortgage rates have now dropped for the second week in a row. Seth, what's going on with those rates, and will this do anything to energize the home buyers?
I don't know if it's going to do anything to energize it long term, but if you're looking to lock, you want to lock now. That would be my recommendation as far as locking an interest rate. The mortgage rates are going to follow the bond rates, and the 10-year yield actually dropped below the 2-year yield yesterday. That's what we call an inverted yield curve, just for a moment. Nonetheless, what happens is when that 10-year drops, that means analysts are expecting a recession in the Fed to change their monetary policy to try to stave that off, i.e. lowering interest rates. I don't know if that's true, but that seems to be the sentiment over the last 2 weeks. That's why the mortgage rates are dropping. I don't expect that to continue. So if you're thinking about locking a mortgage rate, I would certainly think about doing that now.
Okay, good advice. All right, later this week, the June jobs report will be coming out on Friday. So Seth, what are you expecting from the report, and how will it affect the market?
Yeah, I don't know that we see a lot of change in the overall unemployment rate. It's sitting steady at 3.6. I think that's what we probably see. It'll be interesting to see what wage growth does. That's expected to drop slightly, and certainly the retail numbers. I think as we start to continue the talks, these talks on potential recession, people in the job market need to be concerned, because I think that employers are going to start pulling back on new hires. So if you're in the job market, you might want to take that job. It may not be around for that much longer.
Okay. And the price of oil dropped below $100 per barrel for the very first time since May. So is this a good sign for Americans, or a sign that a recession is near?
Yeah, I'm going to sound a little bit like a broken record, I think, kind of talking about short-term versus long-term here. If you look at the September, remember, oil is bought on futures, so August delivery dates did drop below $100 a barrel. September did not. September is still over $100 a barrel, so meaning that they do not expect supply and demand to go down that or change that greatly. But certainly recession is on the minds of many analysts and oil buyers, and the idea is if we go into recession, the need for oil is going to drop. That's why short-term futures are dropping.
And last month, Ford's U.S. sales revved up with an increase of 32%, beating out much of the auto industry. Seth, what is leading to their success?
Ford's Ford. You got to love it. Listen, I know I've said it a number of times on the show. I'm a Ford guy, grew up a Ford guy. But listen, Ford has done a great job on two fronts. That's really helping them in getting orders for new vehicles. Ford did a really big push selling their buyers and their loyal buyers. If you want one, order it. That's going to be your best bet. We talked about it. You're going to get a better deal if you order a vehicle because of supply challenges right now. The second thing is their work vehicles, their e-transits, and all of those really led the market up 76, or I think it was around 76% over the last quarter.
American-made Ford. How about this? The euro has dropped in value to a 20-year low, nearing almost the same value as the U.S. dollar. So, Seth, are our neighbors across the pond having the same economic struggles that we are having here in the States?
They are, and it's actually expanded. We talk about energy crisis, oil specifically. Europe is really struggling with that. Their exports are not on pace with their imports either. So when you're importing goods, you're having to import oil, all of that. You're much more susceptible to a recession. Analysts early in the year projected European economy to grow about 1% as opposed to 2% here in the U.S., which means it doesn't take a lot to tip that into a recession or even a deeper recession sooner. So I think the outlook for Europe is certainly much more on thin ice than it is here in the U.S.
Interesting. All right, Seth, please tell me, you already know this because you're from Texas. Today is National Fried Chicken Day. Will you be grabbing a bucket of that crispy goodness to celebrate?
You know, I'm still trying to lose this winter weight, and every time I turn around, there's a donut day, a chicken day, something of that's not helping me out. I probably will. Why not? It gives me a good excuse to do it. But I will tell you, Alex, I'm a chicken fried steak guy. So that's more my thing down here. But nonetheless, good old fried chicken.
Let's talk about fried chicken. Where's your go-to place to grab some fried chicken, though, Seth?
You know, Chicken Express is a big thing down here. I don't know if they have that up there in the Northeast, but Chicken Express is my go-to. Matter of fact, I picked up a little bit of that for my kids last night, but I didn't sneak a bite. I was really, Alan, my trainer, don't worry, buddy, I didn't I didn't sneak that. Maybe a little bit of the fried okra, though. I did have that. But there's
Ooh,
green
fried
in
okra.
that, so there's green in that, so it's got to be good, right?
It's a vegetable, right?
That's what I keep saying.
Seth Denson, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Alex.